What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's time to rank every single sign that a girl just wants your attention but not necessarily you. So we're going to be ranking them based on how hard these signs are to recognize, right? Because women are the masters of concealing when they're actually using you for attention and when they don't actually like you. They can easily fool so many men into thinking, oh wait, she's actually interested in me, maybe I have a chance with her. Meanwhile, she's using cunning and deceptive tactics to make you think that she likes you, when in actuality she just wants certain things from you, and she will ultimately never give you what you want from her. So we're going to be ranking it on a scale from invisible sign, which means these signs are very hard to recognize. They fool a lot of men. You should really pay attention to these. Hopefully after this video you'll know about them so you can be aware if they do happen. On top of that, we have subtle signs, which means you just need to be sharp to be able to see these things. Moderate sign means you can tell that she's using you for attention, but again, there's so many naive guys in this world that some of them actually can't tell. On top of that, we have strong sign, which means it's actually pretty concerning at this point if you can't tell that she's just using you for attention. She's making it so obvious. And then on the top, this is the most obvious sign you're just never gonna hit. Like, it's so obvious that she just wants your attention and nothing else to do with you. My bad if I sound a little tired. It's like 4 a.m. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you're interested in joining our Discord server, link is going to be in the description. Okay, so the first thing we have here is when a woman says, buy me a drink. This usually happens at like a bar or a club, or whenever you're out and then, you know, you get some choosing signals from a girl. You see her and then she's like, yeah, buy me a drink, or she tries getting you to buy her a drink. Please don't be naive. She's trying her best to finesse you. Every single friend I know, every single person I know who's ever bought drinks with a girl, they never end up hooking up with them. These women are just using you. I don't even think they're using you for attention. They're just using you to get a free drink out of you. So whenever you're chilling by the bar and then a chick tells you to buy her a drink, never fall for this, guys. She's just finessing you. You're just going to end up wasting money for no reason. A lot of these simps think that if they buy her a drink, they're going to raise her interest and she's going to get to know them more. 99% of the time you buy her that drink, she's going to talk to you a little bit because she feels bad, and then she's gonna quickly finesse her way out of the conversation and then disappear. I used to have a friend a couple years ago who always bought chicks drinks. He would always leave the bar having spent like $60 on chicks. He never got with a single one of them. And for you like religious guys, oh, it's not about hooking up. Yeah, he never dated any of them either. So while you're sat there buying her a free drink, complimenting her and giving her free attention, she's secretly grinning and rubbing her hands together like, I got this fucking idiot. I'm gonna put this at moderate sign. A lot of guys just cannot tell that when a girl asks them to buy her a drink and they don't know her, that she's probably just using them. Next up, she only reaches out to you when she wants something. Hey, can you help me with my homework? Hey, can you drive me to the mall today? Hey, do you want to go shopping? Whenever she needs you to either accompany her doing something, or whenever she wants you to do a physical task for her, hey, can you fix my toilet? Whatever, right? If she's always asking you to fix stuff for her, and that seems to be the only time she's hitting you up, I hate to break it to you, this is almost a guaranteed sign that she's using you for attention. The problem is that women are so good at concealing it that most guys can't tell, which is why I'm actually going to put this as subtle sign. It's not so obvious to tell when a woman does this. Some women will literally ask you for something in such a sweet and flirty way to get you to think that she has any level of interest in you. Meanwhile, she just wants the thing that you're about to do for her, right? She doesn't want you. But it's just a deception tactic. Women are so good at like presenting themselves in the right way and acting all flirtatious and shit, and unfortunately the guy usually falls for it. Sometimes they even use men as their own personal escorts. I've seen this happen before. Basically what they'll do is they'll say, hey, do you want to come to like this social event with me? And you're like, oh, she's asking me to come with her. This is great. That means she likes me. You're with her, you guys are alone, everything's fine. The second you get to a place where all of her other friends are, or like where she's in a place where there's a bunch of people, it's like you don't even exist to her anymore. It's like she's interacting with everyone else. Oh my god, Jessica, fucking Jacob, whatever. It's like she doesn't acknowledge that you're there anymore because she's so consumed by like the attention from all the other people. That means that she literally just used you as a personal escort. I hate to break it to you. She just didn't want to go somewhere alone and she needed an orbiter to accompany her to the place that she was going, so she chose you for that. Next, we have most of your interactions seem to be on text. I want every single person watching this video who's talking to a girl to just evaluate, are most of my interactions with this girl over the phone, over social media, over text, or do I actually see her in real life? Because I guarantee you that so many men have this problem where like it seems like it's so easy to text the girl, she's very receptive, you guys are sending each other stuff, going back and forth, but it's like fucking hell trying to meet up with her. It's almost like you have to fucking jump through hoops to be able to see her, right? If it feels like most of your interactions are on text, or even all of them, and she's very receptive and like not not dry, but you still can't link her in real life. She's just using you for attention. You're just another notification on her phone. You're just another source of attention. She doesn't plan on ever meeting up with you. All you are is just a source of validation coming through her phone, and you're just a +1 extra guy on her inbox, because I guarantee you're not the only guy she's doing this with. There's probably 5 to 10 other guys that she's doing this with, and there's only one guy that she's linking, and unfortunately you're just not that guy. So I'm gonna put this at strong sign. You should easily be able to tell that a girl is only using you for attention if for the life of you you're just not able to meet up with her. Next up we have you're able to meet up with her but not alone. So every time you see her, there's always other people, other friends. You can never link her one-on-one. She always makes it so that when you see her, there's like a bunch of other people around and you can't seem to get that one-on-one time with her. I hate to break it to you, it is so over, bro. This should immediately ring alarm bells in your head, like, okay, this girl is not interested whatsoever. I'm just another source of attention for her, because she will talk to me, she will entertain me, she might even flirt with me, but I can't seem to get that one-on-one with her, and every time I'm talking to her, there's like 5 other guys in the fucking vicinity talking to her. That's the worst kind of situation you want to be in. So if you can't link her alone, I recommend just moving on from her. Next up we have she doesn't give you special treatment. Shout out to all the Code Geass enjoyers out there. I used Lelouch to represent this because Lelouch is a king, and if she's not treating you like a king, that means that something is up, because there's a guy that she's treating like a king, right? So if she's not giving you special treatment in any way, if she's not like making sacrifices to see you, if she's not like complimenting you and being flirty with you, and she just kind of treats you like an acquaintance, like almost like in this cold way that you're like, okay, she's treating me like everyone else, I don't really get the special treatment from her. Yeah, this is a pretty subtle sign. Many guys don't see this, but you have to be aware, right? It's subtle and it's hard to tell because you don't know other guys and you don't know how she's treating other guys, unless you're fucking weird and your friends are hitting on her too. For the majority of people, it's gonna be hard to tell where you stand with her, but this is something that you just have to feel out. You have to be like, I don't know, man, I feel like she has a bunch of orbiters and she wants to wrap me up with all these other guys and she's not giving me that special treatment. You know she just wants your attention and not you. Next up, she has orbiters. What are orbiters? Orbiters are just guys that are always around this chick, always giving her validation and attention. They're literally orbiting her the same way moons orbit planets, always boosting her ego, always doing stuff for her. Any woman that has orbiters, 90% of the time, even if you think that you're different and special, oh, I'm this new guy in her life, I'm gonna go in and show her. Women with orbiters tend to want to introduce more orbiters. So think about it this way. If she has a bunch of guys always simping for her and giving her attention and stuff, you might think, well, no, I'm different, I'm masculine. And sure, yeah, she might be attracted to you, but why would she sacrifice the attention that she's getting from like all 9 of these guys to exclusively commit to you and be with you, right? As a man, I don't care who you are or who you think you are, you're never going to compete with all the other guys who are giving her attention at the same time. Women have this like selfish mindset where they want it all. So women who have orbiters, even if you can get romantic interest out of them, the lemon just isn't worth the squeeze 90% of the time. She's always gonna group you in with all these other simps giving her attention, and she's trying to create this weird dynamic where she has like 10 guys feeding her attention all at the same time, but she's not fucking any of them. So this one is a pretty strong sign. Next up we have she doesn't ask questions about you. You see, women love to talk about themselves. We all know this, but if a girl doesn't really know much about you and she's not really asking many questions about you, then there's something to be said about that, because like a lot of the chicks you guys are talking to, the girl doesn't even know like when your birthday is. She doesn't even know what you do for work. She doesn't know anything about you, but you know so much about her. So you have this like weird parasocial relationship going on where the girl kind of like uses you as a side character to talk about herself. Like she's literally the main character in her own life, but from your perspective, like she's also the main character, but she sees you as like this disposable like side character. She doesn't really know much about you. Like if you don't feel seen when you're with a girl, if you don't feel like you're actually there and that you're important, then chances are she's probably using you to just talk about herself, and you're just a free source of attention that she could talk about all her problems to without obviously giving you anything in return. I'll put this at moderate sign. Next up we have your interactions feel one-sided. Yeah, this is the same thing as her not asking you questions. If your interactions always feel one-sided, like you're doing most of the talking, like you're giving more than you're getting, then this is almost a guarantee that she's using you for attention. Unfortunately, these are moderate signs, like you can tell, but so many guys purposely neglect this. That's why I'm telling you that it's not going to work out. Next we have she doesn't want to be intimate. This is so obvious. If you're always trying to initiate physical contact but she doesn't want it or she refuses it, yet she still spends time with you, she still texts you, she still does all of that, she doesn't want you, she just wants your attention. You guys have to remember, sex to you is like attention to her. So if you're not getting physical and emotional intimacy from her, but she she's getting attention from you, she's basically getting the male equivalent of having sex from you while you're literally getting zero from her. Next up we have, she seems to always be on her phone when you guys are together. This one is a strong sign, guys. And like the thing is, a lot of girls are phone addicts, so sometimes there's actually a chance where they do like you, but they just cannot get off their phones even if they're with you. But if they like you enough, they should have the self-discipline to actually like get off their phones and engage in a conversation. So if a girl's just on her phone, it's not even a matter of like, oh, she just wants your attention anymore. It's just pure disrespect. You're out with her, you guys should be having a conversation and actually being present in the moment, but her being on her phone 24/7 means she just doesn't see you like that. Okay, next up we have pulls away then comes back, then pulls away then comes back. So it seems like she's just always disappearing and then coming back, and then you know, when you're not giving her attention, she comes back, but then the second you give her that source of attention, she leaves again. I'm gonna say this one's a very hard one to recognize, man, because a lot of guys actually like hit me up even on Discord saying she left, but like she came back and stuff, and I'm so confused. She just wants your attention, bro. A girl who really likes you is gonna be consistent, and she's always gonna show up all the time. Of course, they're gonna do things like shit tests and like pull back for a little bit and come back, but for the most part, she should always be there and be consistent. When they're using you for attention, it doesn't really matter to them whether you're in their life or not. Like they will just come back in and out as they see fit, because they know that you don't have the self-respect to actually stop talking to them, and they know that they can just come back whenever they want. So whenever a woman gives you these mixed signals and she seems to be inconsistent, you can't figure her out, 99% of the time she's not interested in you romantically. Next up we have shit tests, and actually this shouldn't even be on the list, because women actually shit test men that they're interested in. So it's actually a very good sign if you're getting shit tests from women, because it means that they have some level of interest and they just want to see if you'll go weak for them or if you'll reveal your interest level too fast. But shit tests, I'm not going to include this in the list. Next up we have she's feeding you scraps. This is just when a girl kind of flirts with you. She gives you a little bit of interest, just enough to keep you chasing her, just enough to keep you giving her that attention, but then she's not giving you anything of real value. She's just kind of throwing shit at you. This one is a subtle sign, guys. You need to be sharp. It's probably one of the most subtle signs, because a guy will cling to the very little things that she does. Like she might text you saying I miss you or some shit, and that's gonna stick in your head for a fucking month. Meanwhile, you don't realize that she just said that to keep you rolling, right? To keep the ball rolling. Now she has you hooked. Now she has you giving her attention. Now she has you texting her all the time. It's a very devious thing to do, but a lot of them will throw scraps at you just so you don't leave, because they know that if they give you nothing at all, you're just gonna slowly disappear and leave, right? So they have to give you something. They have to keep you engaged. But if it feels like you're not making any real progress, like the relationship isn't going anywhere and she's just kind of feeding you scraps, she just wants your attention. Next up we have you always seem to initiate the conversations, but she does reply fast. So this is a pretty unique situation where essentially the girl is not flaking and she's not being dry or ghosting or anything, but you always have to initiate the conversation. You always have to text first. You always have to like start things, and then she'll reply fast and like have a conversation with you and stuff. If this is happening to you and she never initiates, chances are, guys, that you're just a source of entertainment and attention for her. All this really means is that you're probably friend zoned and you're a convenient person to talk to, because if she really liked a guy, she would initiate conversations with him way more often. I'm gonna put this one at invisible sign, because a lot of guys think just because she's replying fast and just because she's texting you that she's interested. It doesn't matter how much she's replying or how fast or how long the paragraphs she's sending are. What matters is, are you able to meet her in real life? Are you able to initiate physical contact? Can you tell that she's romantically interested in you? Is the way she talks to you feminine and bubbly? You have to pay attention to all these things, because those are the true indicators of interest. Next up we have never answers when you call, but always keeps the conversation on text. This one is a pretty moderate sign, guys. You should be able to tell that a girl only wants your attention if she doesn't call. Now, this one is pretty nuanced, because sometimes a girl will still call you and still just be using you for attention, but it's even worse when she doesn't call you, because if she refuses to call you, that means that she sees such little value in a one-on-one conversation with you that she would rather lump you in with all the other guys that she's texting and just keep you as like this low effort minimum thing where she just replies to you whenever she feels like it, and she doesn't actually have to be one-on-one having a word-to-word conversation with you. Next up we have gives you choosing signals. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's just like when a girl shows you subtle signs that she's interested, smiles at you, goes within your proximity, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to include this in the list because it could go either way. Some women, especially at the gym, they do this. Some women will give you choosing signals and then you'll be like, oh, she wants me, and you go and approach her. only for her to reject you. Some women will give you choosing signals and they're actually genuinely interested. So it's really hard to tell just based off choosing signals alone whether she wants you for attention or not. You're actually gonna have to talk to her and find out. Next up, we have only texts you when she's sad and depressed, or she just went through a breakup with her ex or some shit. Yeah, this one is a pretty strong. So actually, this one's so obvious, bro. Like, if you notice that a girl is only texting you to rant about her life, or to complain, or to be like, oh, I hate my ex, whatever, you're just a friend-zoned guy who she's using as a source of comfort and attention, and she does not want you. Next up, you invite her out and she always says who else is coming. Yeah, very similar to the whole you only seem to see her when other people are around thing. That one's pretty fucking obvious. Okay, next, you always initiate text but she replies quickly. Yeah, I think we went over that. Next up, suddenly interested when other girls want you. This one's pretty interesting, man, because, you know, sometimes the girl will want nothing to do with you. You're not getting anything out of her, not even a fucking choosing signal, nothing, right? Cold, distant. And then she sees you with like other girls who are as hot as her, if not hotter. And then all of a sudden her interest goes through the fucking roof, right? A lot of guys have experienced this. Now, this is obviously you using pre-selection to your advantage, which is good. But I'm just telling you right now, this is one of the lower forms of interest, because to her, it's more about beating the other girls than it is about actually getting you. She sees, oh, this guy attracts other women. Let me see if I'm hot enough to actually compete and take him from these girls. So it actually has nothing to do with you. It has to do with your attention and the attention of the other girls who are competing for you, pretty much. So this one's a pretty subtle sign, but you gotta be sharp. Sometimes it's not about you, it's just about the competition. Next up, she has a boyfriend. So please don't be that fucking guy who's friends with a girl or who talks to a girl who has a boyfriend thinking that you're gonna be next in line when they break up. Some of you guys watching this video, you guys are players and you guys be trying to make girls cheat on their boyfriends and shit. I don't condone that. I realize that it's possible to do that. I don't condone it. But for the majority of women who have boyfriends, if they're talking to you, you're just an extra source of attention. They're fucking their boyfriend, they're not fucking you. So I'm gonna put this at so obvious. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the list. This is everything you need to know about whether a girl is using you for attention or whether she actually wants you. I'll see you in the next video.